started working with a modeling agency, and this is the real dip in my life and career.
Must be really hard because we heard a lot of really sad stories when they started modeling agency.
Yeah, the model, again, it was a challenge. I was like, okay, I've never done this before. How can I be the best model that I know? Mm-hmm. So I would exercise. I would, I didn't know how to do makeup. So I would learn, I went to all these classes. That was all fine. That was like, 这是2000年, right? So everybody was 很白，非常的白，
然后非常瘦。
瘦，
你是不是有点黑那个时候？
我黑，然后肉肉的 ，even now 我肉肉的 ，right? So in terms of like 我肌肉
Taiwanese weird standard, yeah, sick standard.
I mean,我173, I'm 5'7", 5'8", and I weigh now about 55 kilos or so. They wanted me to be under 50.
Ooh.
And I was like, that's so...
173 under 50, that's
yes,
crazy. 太瘦了。
很瘦. But there's plenty of models that are still like that now. And back then, that was just the norm. So I did everything that I could to try and lose weight. And that's when I had an eating disorder.
Yeah.
So I had a really, really bad eating disorder. And then the eating disorder, because it's not natural to me, it's not natural to anybody, but I suddenly lost myself. I didn't understand food. I didn't understand my relationship to food, to people, to anything. So then I had depression. Mm-hmm. So then for 3 years, I suffered through really, really bad depression.
那个时候的 eating disorder, what does it look like?
So there's various forms, and I didn't know this either. But, everybody thinks of bulimia, anorexia. Bulimia 就是你吃很多，然后就把它吐掉。Anorexia 是你完全不吃。我是 binge eating disorder, 就是我会狂吃，但是不吐掉。So, and 你会用各种样式的方式去减肥。So,我的就是运动。So I would eat tons, hate myself, and then go to the gym and exercise for 2 hours, to lose the weight. Because 我的想法是，如果我吐掉的话，那我就是有病。我不吐掉，我没有哦。所以你在骗自己。
Yeah.
But 你的所有的行为其实就是一个 addiction. I was addicted to food. 那在最夸张的是，比如说 ，OK， 我礼拜5要工作，那我礼拜天到礼拜4，我会去便利商店，然后买5颗蛋，然后吃5颗蛋跟水。That's it for the whole
week?
The whole
day.
One day 就是5颗蛋。
5颗蛋。
然后我因为蛋黄太多胆固醇，所以我会吃2个蛋黄。And everything else 就是蛋白. That's it. Like so 5 egg whites and 2 egg yolks.
这样怎么工作？
那你会瘦很多啊。You lose so much weight because you're not getting any calories. 然后到礼拜5的时候，那个客户啊、广告 everybody 你的经纪人他们 Oh my gosh 好棒哦，你好瘦好漂亮哦。And of course 你因为妆发 of course you're made to
气色会看起来
对 they make you look good, right? 然后拍照片也是会 show 的 So everything, the result is always beautiful. But then as soon as I finished working, 我拍完我会到一样的那个便利商店 and I would spend all of my 车马费 So 那时候拍一个杂志可能1000到2000块 right? 我会把2000块在 7-Eleven 买所有的零食 and then in 30 minutes 把它吃完 And this is after eating the 便当 or whatever, finally I would allow myself to eat. But then I would go home and I would just binge. And then you hate yourself because you're like, 我刚刚花了6天的时间才可以到这个 and then that one meal you feel like, oh, I'm useless. I've ruined my life. I've ruined everything. I'm never going to be good enough. All this doubt starts coming in. And then you go into depression,
Yeah. And 而且那3年 Did you have friends in Taiwan? Because
Yes, you
met
have
people?
I met people, I had great friends, but you don't show them this side. Yeah. You hide that away. So I would eat everything at home, and then if I was feeling really bad or 胖, 肥, then I would be like, oh, sorry, I'm working. Oh, I can't go out right now. And then on the good days, then you would go out. You're totally normal, but you hide it. I was so good at hiding it. I would stay up all night eating just so that I didn't have to see people in the day because then I would sleep all day.
Oh, wow.
Then when did you start to realize you need help?
Pretty soon, because it was just I didn't understand this feeling. It was like, what is this hole? I have this huge hole in my gut that I couldn't fill with food. You know, boys, I was like, no relationship worked out because I hated myself. How could I, be in a good relationship? And then finally my sister saw it first. She's like, Janet, you look terrible.
Did she come to Taiwan to visit you?
I think one day I was so depressed that I was like, I called Christine, my sister, and I was like, where are you? She was in Singapore. So I flew over to Singapore and I just bawled. I just started crying. And then she's like, why are you crying? I was like, because I'm fat. And she's like, you're not fat. I'm like, yes, I am. And then, you peel off the layers. She's like, you're not fat. Okay, you're not useless. You're not ugly. What is the core issue? And then finally I was like, I can't stop eating. I have no control over my eating. And she's like, but you're eating just fine. I was like, that's because you're not looking at me after you go to sleep. Your fridge door is open. I'm standing there and I'm trying not to eat. I close the door. 5 seconds later, I open the door. I look at, okay, what can I eat that's healthy? Okay, I'll start with the celery. Okay, the celery's healthy. I'll eat the celery. I'll eat the carrots. And then I close the door. I'm like, oh, you know what? Meat is good. Meat is protein. Okay, and then I start eating the protein. By the end of the night, I've eaten a tub of ice cream. I've eaten all the bread with peanut butter, everything. At least 3,000 calories. And you feel disgusting. You feel sick. You are physically sick, So my sister was like, okay, you need help. And she didn't know how to help me. She didn't have this problem. So I read books. I talked to counselors. I went to a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist is like, oh, 那你正常吃就好了. I'm like,
因为那时候台湾的那些
psychiatrist 还没有那么完整。
they probably don't know this situation.
Yes.
Right? 台湾那时候还没有在讨论这件事情啊。
因为他是觉得 it's not alcohol， 不是吸毒的问题。
对啊，
那你就正常吃
东西，
就好了。
对啊，你就改变就好了，你就不要吃啊。
对啊，你就跟朋友去吃饭就好了，不要一个人吃。Okay. Yeah, it was. I mean, but at the same time, I didn't know, so I was like, okay, 好啊。And then I try it, and it was great for a day, and then one bad moment, and then you're back in that cycle again.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you get out of that cycle?
I tried so many things. So exercise, I tried traveling. So the few times that I was able to escape for a while, I went to India again. I did a yoga retreat for a month, got better.
我以为你要说去 India， 所以就不会
吃很多，
有时候会拉肚子，
我以为会拉肚子，
会
balance
balance it out，
也是会。No, the traveling got me out of my head. Honestly, the traveling.
It took you out of the modeling environment, right?
It also took me out of the modeling environment. Yes. So being out of the environment, being out of my head, being surrounded by people who didn't care what you look like, right? Yeah. Because they're like, oh, we're doing yoga. There was like these super, super fat guys who were doing yoga, like putting both legs, like so flexible. It didn't matter what your body shape was. So that helped. But that ultimately, what helped was Fun Taiwan. Yeah.
Oh.
When I got Fun Taiwan, I was ready to quit. I was like, I'm done. My 3 years were up. And I was in a worse state than I'd ever been in my life, right? Oh, I moved to France for a boy. That didn't work out well. I came back crying to Taiwan. So I was at the lowest point in my life, I would say. Life and career, love, nothing was, going well. So I was like, do you know what? I need to go back to medical school. That's where I'm supposed to be. Like I gave it a shot. I tried, but it didn't work out. So I packed all my bags, and I bought my ticket. And then at that point, when you've given up, you just don't care about certain things anymore. Yeah. So every audition that came, every job that came, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Sure, I'll do it. I'm fat, but it's okay. I'll do it. So you just lose that sense of judgment on yourself because you're just like, I have nothing left to lose. So I went on 麻辣天后宫. You remember that show a long time ago?
Wow.
I went on the show. It was like I always say the wrong way. Okay, 交往节目 I always say 交配节目
understandable dating show like when you dating
because it's like 交往 or 配对 and I always comment I'm like yeah 我就是上那个交配节目 They're like
It's
what?
not wrong. Technically, it's not wrong.
Yeah.
Technically,
yes. So I did that, as like one of those girls that wants to find her love. I went on the actual catwalk shows as the 玩偶.
Oh, wow.
Like I was the mascot. So I just said yes to everything because I was like, I need to make money. I want to go. I just want to try everything now. And there was an audition for Fun Taiwan. And they wanted a fluent Chinese speaker who had hosting experience. And, I didn't have any of that. But I was like, you know what? F it. I'm going. And I'm going to try it because what do I have to lose? So I went, and again, no pretense, because I had just, I don't want to say given up, but I was just so comfortable with the idea that I'm leaving. I became myself again. So at every other audition, they're like, 自我介绍. I was like, hi, 大家好, 我是 Janet 谢怡芬, 我173. It's so stiff, but for the Fun Taiwan audition, they were like, talk about yourself and a place that you love. 我们给你5分钟，你可以先想一想. I was like, 不用啊，我可以直接来. And I talked for like probably 10 minutes. I was like, okay, so I love India. I actually talked about India. I just came back from India. And I was like, yeah. And我错赛, but I loved it. And I just had all these stories. And, like I felt like myself again. And that's how I got from Taiwan.
You went back to the 陈大哥, 成龙,
Yes.
the girl. Oh,
yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Were you hesitating to stay in Taiwan for Fun Taiwan, or you want to go back to again?
I did. I didn't hear back for a month.
Yeah.
So I was literally about to fly off. And then I got the call and I was like, oh, you got the job. And I'm like, okay, great. My first question was like, how much weight do I need to lose? That was my first question.
So you still kind of want to try it, even though your 3-year.
Yes. I still, because it was like suddenly a yes. Like after hearing so many no's, you hear a yes, and that's what keeps drawing you back,
Yeah.
So I heard, but my first question was like,
How much weight do you have to lose?
Yeah. I didn't even ask what is the salary, 要拍多久, 要去哪里拍, 要拍什么. I didn't ask any of that.
Oh my God, modeling
It
hurts you so much.
It messed me up.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And despite all of that, I am so grateful for those 3 years of low, of I don't want to say I'm grateful for my depression, but I'm really happy that I got to experience everything because I wouldn't have empathy for other people. Before that happened, I didn't really understand that feeling of suffering and like pain, like self-inflicted emotional and physical pain because I'm stuffing myself, right? So having gone through that, it made me a better person. It made me a better host. It made me a better mom now. Like when I see my kids going through these struggles, I'm like, okay, you're not just yelling at me because you don't want to play piano. There's something else that's happening. Like, did you have a bad day at school today? So it's made me a better human.
Or they just don't want to play the piano.
Sometimes it's just they don't want to play piano. I know. Sometimes it is just piano. Yeah.
Sorry, I can't help.
Are you my son?
I just don't want to play the piano.
So Fun Taiwan, 你问了他们的问题，他们
What did they say?
Yeah, what did they say?
My producer, he was like, 减肥不用减肥啊，你搞不好会胖 because you're going to be eating a lot on the show. And I just immediately 三条线 I'm like, oh my God, I can't get fatter. Oh my God, I can't, so I started panicking and I was like, well, 那需要美白吗? Because that was always the 2 questions, right? And he's like, 美白个屁啊，你是外景主持人呢
白个屁啊
外景主
持人
对，这么白，感觉你没在工作。
对，就感觉不自然的。
都假的，都假的。
Having that supportive of a team was so
nice.
great.
在台湾有这样子的 supportive team 很了不起。
Yeah, 真的很了不起。
And
really.
no judgment.
Just
for love. 这好棒哦。
I mean,
难
怪你们可以做出这么
有爱的节目。
有爱的节目，
而且可以维持这么久。
对
啊，
那 team 是有爱的耶。
Yeah.